Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce our team as first. Gabriel Chen and Demarcation, and I'm Kendall Ho. Today, I will talk about the EEZ conflict in the East China Sea. There are two people who care about this dispute, Ichiro and Jet Li, namely Japan and China. Our topic is about EEZ. It stands for Exclusive Economic Zone. In this area, a nation can use marine natural resources, including gas or oil, fish, or tourism. So, many countries on the sea have EEZ, and there are many complicated problems all over the world there. Because EEZ has two definitions decided by UNCLOS. It stands for United Nations Convention Law on the Sea. Conventionally, EEZ extends 200 nautical miles from coastal baseline. But when continental shelf is longer than 200 nautical miles, it is considered as continental shelf. So continental shelf is this. It is underwater extension of landmass. So at the end of continental shelf, the slope is getting sharp. So what is the problem? Between China and Japan, there are less than 400 nautical miles. So the EEZ is overlapped. And
so here is a bigger map of the area in dispute. What we have here, this is the actual median line that Japan has proposed, and this is the boundary of the continental shelf of China. And this would be the EEZ of Japan if there was no land here. So notice here there are some oil fields that are being developed. This is being developed by China. So the biggest one is called Chengxiao, and it's also called Shirakawa in Japanese. And this is a picture of the oil tower, and then that's a Chinese naval destroyer. So lots of it at stake. So what Japan is worried about is that the Chinese development is so close to the Japanese side of what they claim to be their side, and it's actually siphoning off their resources from under the seabed.
Okay, now I will explain decision makers. There are two decision makers, the government of China and the government of Japan, not Ichiro, not Jet Li. This is an option for China. China has four options, and they can increase and decrease the activity and presence in disputed area. The activity and presence means the maritime survey and military fleet. And they can also suggest joint development with Japan over the disputed area. And they can continue to unilateral development because they have infrastructure for the development already. And this is the option for Japan. Japan has also four options. They can also increase and decrease their activity and presence in the area. And also they can suggest joint development with China. And they can start to unilaterally develop by themselves, but they don't have any infrastructure for development, so they have to start. And this is scenario reduction. And now we have 266 scenarios, but we can eliminate some of them by mutual exclusivity and option dependency. According to GNCR2, there are 66 feasible states. So this is how to eliminate. Option 1 and 2 are mutually exclusive because increase and decrease cannot happen at the same time. And in the same way, 5 and 6 are also mutually exclusive. But 5 and 1 or 2 and 6 are not mutually exclusive because they can decide their options by themselves, and they cannot have the effect on the other side division. And we calculate the equilibrium by GMCR2. And these four states are natural stability and sequential stability. In all of the states, China doesn't decrease presence, and China doesn't join development. So we can say it's difficult to collaborate with each other and develop together. And state 44 is close to the current situation.
Okay, and we only analyzed NASH and sequential because EMR and SMR doesn't make sense because these two countries are not at war. They want to maximize their own benefit, not maximize the damage that they can inflict on the other party. So we move on to sensitivity analysis. We assume that China wants to decrease their tension at all costs. That means about their own interests. So what happens? This is the swimming tank of the Chinese army. So what happens is that you notice that the NASH stability states are actually the same as the other one, but we have a whole host of new states that are possible for sequential. This is because that there are a lot of options that are indesirable when you look ahead a little bit more, so that's why there's possibly so many states. But we can see how robust the model is because when we analyze from NASH, which is a more realistic point of view, that we have the same states. So the next analysis is what if Japan prefers to increase tension. So the joke here is this is Koizumi Junichiro, the second last prime minister. He was very right wing, and it really got these people very happy on the right there. So with this analysis, Japan wants to develop on their own at all costs, and this is the two states that are feasible by NASH and sequential. So as you can see, it's not a lot of happy people. That picture is because we think that he's basically slave to U.S. The hypergame analysis, I analyzed the Chinese point of view because that's my expertise, and their expertise is the analysis of Japan. So basically, Japan misunderstood the Chinese intention for presence. They're not really as hardline as they think they are. This is the equilibrium statuses, and we see that China and Japan have the same in terms of NASH stability, but when sequential is taken into account, there's more options for Japan in the equilibrium state. Here is the actual game happening. As you noticed, or may or may not, these two states actually do not show up in both players' games. So they don't see these states. It might not be a bad thing because what's happening is China doesn't respond with escalation when Japan increases their military or their surveillance. So finally, we did a coalition analysis. This is a two-player game, but it's still possible because they can work together to move to a more desirable state for both of them. But intermediate steps may not be desirable for one or the other. So they have to make some sacrifices. So GMCR says that we can move from state 44 to 34 by this coalition. They moved together because they promised not to increase their presence in other words, put warships in close proximity to each other. So the conclusion is that we yielded a lot of equilibriums that made sense, and they've occurred in the past, or they're occurring right now. We say this because China and Japan already negotiated 11 times already before today. And our model is really robust because of the analysis. A lot of our states are the same. So finally, the coalition analysis showed that there are peaceful equilibriums that can be attainable. So we recommend that they hold further dialogue to discuss about this. Any questions?
The next speaker would please set up. Do you have any questions? What do you think the likely outcome will be?
I think that China will choose to directly develop with Japan because they're interested in preserving the stability of the region. But they still want to keep developing on their own. Japan, on the other hand, don't want to start developing on their own because it's not economically feasible because they're much farther away from the oil fields in China.
Does Japan agree? Thank you.
Thank you.